Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Izzy Cinematic Escape on YouTube. I'm your host Izzy, as per usual. Anyone who is new to the channel just happened to find it through the YouTube search engine and you enjoy my work, please feel free to hit the subscribe button below and spread the word to your friends and family. Anyone who isn't new, thank you for continuing this journey with me, and I hope you all continue to enjoy my work, and a happy Halloween to everyone who is watching. Today's review is based off a 1999 horror film that took the cinema world by storm, as the viewing audience at that particular time had never seen anything like this. And plus, given that the internet wasn't the way it is now with the whole technological information era, it really just became quite synonymous with horror films in general, because it paved the way for the whole found footage franchise that took the world by storm in around 2007, 2008, 2009. The film that I'm talking about is The Blair Witch Project. It's a story that involves three students who decide to go into this wooded area and look for this urban legend known as the Blair Witch. What I really enjoyed about this film overall is the fact that, once again, it reminded me a lot of Cannibal Holocaust. Anyone who hasn't watched Cannibal Holocaust, I do recommend that, because there's a lot of cool significant facts involved in the making of the film, and they share a lot of similarities with one another. Cannibal Holocaust, at that point in time when it was initially released, because of the fact that the practical effects looked so realistic, the director literally had all the actors who participated in the film sign this waiver to indicate to that way they wouldn't spill the beans at that time. Again, this is before the internet, and they literally thought that the actors that was involved in this film were murdered. It was like a snuff film almost, to a degree. It's a great film though, by the way, so I do recommend it. The Blair Witch Project, while not to that same degree as far as having grotesque violence is concerned, it was such a monumental success because of the fact that the internet in 1999 wasn't what it is now, as I mentioned. So they were able to keep a lot of information secretive, and people, whenever they watched the trailers and then you saw all this different type of advertisements, the film, the way it was presented, literally looked like it was something that was based on a true story, and you had viewers who were questioning, hey, is this based on a real story? This seems like it was very real. And given the fact that the actors that were involved in this film, again, they looked like just realistic people. There was nothing chiseled, there was nothing fancy or extravagantly beautiful about them. They were just regular individuals that I feel that you could pass in the mall or pass on the street somewhere. That's what really helped this film propel it into such a legendary status that I don't believe you'll ever witness again, because of how much technology and information has evolved throughout the years. The Blair Witch Project, as I mentioned, started the whole found footage franchise, and it was such a simple concept that I don't believe anyone expected it to take such a monumental. How can I explain this? I don't think anyone really expected it to be the success that it was, given that it was made with a next to nothing. There's no violence, there's no gore, there's no significant amount of blood. It's all about focusing on the realistic reactions of the actors and that sensation of being isolated and not knowing exactly whatever it is that's hunting you. And that's what I really appreciate about this film. It's all about toying with the imagination, as what you don't see is a lot more frightening than what you do see. And sometimes what you hear is a lot more frightening than what you don't hear. And the fact that you cannot see it is what ultimately really intentionally created that overwhelmingly stifling feeling of fear. And the atmosphere within this film is top notch. I mean, it's something that I don't believe you'll be able to replicate anymore, simply because it's literally next to impossible to do a film like the Blair Witch Project right now in 2020. It just can't be done. Because people, again, will find some type of way to get the information out to the public that this is just another film, and along with the fact that they will most likely cast well-known actors or actresses that literally, as I mentioned, it would just take the whole seriousness factor out of the overall concept. I can remember when I first watched this film, and the fact that it was so hyped at the time, especially after it was released, because it was the word around cinema. It was the word around those who actually went and watched the film. And I remember watching it with a group of friends of mine, and actually in 1999. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch it in the cinema. But it was still very creepy and very frightening. And to this very day, I just find myself remembering exactly how I felt after watching it, and the sensation that I experienced was overall fear, tension, the idea of being completely isolated, alone in this wooded area with something that you only know about through urban legends and speaking to the locals is something that I cannot imagine under any circumstances. There's a lot of creepy moments in the film, and again, this is a spoiler alert, so anyone who hasn't watched this movie, I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to go ahead and just kind of meander away from the laptop, tablet, or your television screen, and those who have watched it will know exactly what I'm talking about, so I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to just kind of step away, and I'll go ahead and talk again. Anyways, the film, one of my favorite moments of the film that is still gives me chills up and down the spine is the scene when they're all in the tent, and you hear the sound of children laughing and hitting against the tent, their small hands hitting against the tent. It was just so, how they were able to do that with, and have it be as creepy as it was horrifying. Just the fact that you're in the night and hearing the sounds of laughing children and hitting against the tent is what it just, oh man, I can remember the hairs on my neck stand up after watching that moment. Another creepy moment that I think everybody will agree is when you hear the sounds of Josh screaming in the night, and there is absolutely no way you could find him in the dark, as pitch black as it can be in your wooded areas. And the fact that you just hear him screaming and begging for help, and you have no idea whatever it is that he's looking at, or whatever it is that's torturing him in the process, and it's just the desperation in his cries, and the desperation in the fact that you have Heather, and if I can't remember the name of the second character. I might have to look that up again. But you just have Heather and the other character who were just trying desperately to find their friend, and they can't find him, and they're just kind of getting turned around in the process. And man, that's just a horrifying experience when you really consider the facts. The moment when you have Heather with the flashlight turned up to her face, and then she's apologizing to her friends and family, you just have, and that acting with her is just so realistic and authentic to the point to where it's become such an iconic moment in cinema. And granted, it has been parodied many a times with a lot of your parody films, but the fact that it's still one of the most memorable scenes in horror is what is a testament to just how great the Blair Witch Project is. And of course, you cannot forget about the ending. The ending of the film is still one of the most horrifying experiences of all time. It's just really just says it's the perfect film. It's the perfect ending, in my honest opinion. Once again, it's the fact that it was made next to nothing, with no realistic budget, just 3 unknown actors with a camcorder, and that was it. That's it. And the fact that it became so successful and attempted to actually start a franchise, even though that franchise didn't last, and it was only 2 films with this one, and actually no, 3. You had this one, Blair Witch Book of Shadows, then you had the recent one that came out not too long ago, simply titled The Blair Witch, but nothing will ever recreate what this one did. This one will always be the best. And I remember, I don't know if anybody remembers this one or not, but at the time when the Blair Witch Book of Shadows came out, there was, if I'm not mistaken, they were going to reveal what the Blair Witch looked like. They even had toys. Tom McFarlane designed a toy that indicated what the Blair Witch looked like. Needless to say, I'm glad they didn't go that route, because it's just, the fact that you have no idea what the Blair Witch looks like is what makes it that much more frightening. And the fact that your imagination is can create all kinds of horrifying images within your psyche that you simply don't need to see the monster in order to feel afraid. And that's what makes the Blair Witch Project 1999 such a great film. It is all about the psychological factor of not knowing, and the unknown is far more frightening than you could possibly imagine, honestly. That is my review of the Blair Witch Project. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have watched the film, please let me know what you thought about it. Provide a like in the comment section on my YouTube, and provide a like and a comment on my Facebook if you want to. I hope you guys continue to be safe, and hope you all have a wonderful Halloween, and you'll be hearing from me again. Take care, and peace out.